Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome to week 5 of Chandelier Champions League. First battles we've got. This is the last week, by the way, for before playoffs. So playoffs replays will be uploaded next week. So first battle we have is Luke versus Meat. Meat has his pretty standard hyper offense team. Luke has a pretty balanced team, I would say. Leads with Ninetales into the Keliyu. I'm guessing Meat wants to get his Aurora Veil off, but no, he switches instantly to Rotom Wash. Fire Blast, not going to do a lot. It does 50 or 45, which is still huge. Crunch, Keliyu is interesting. Does get the defense drop, but Hydro Pump is going to do around 50. Swaps to Roaring Moon. Good, punish on the Protect. The Body Press is interesting. Will-O-Wisp does burn Roaring Moon, so its attack is crippled now. And Meat is slowly healing his Rotom with leftovers. Acrobatics is resisted. Volt Switch here does a tiny bit of damage, but switches to MIMIKYU, and with the Disguise, MIMIKYU's probably just going... Oh, immune. Okay, so Luke Body Slams into the Ghost type, which, yeah, lets Meat get a free setup with MIMIKYU. And so we'll see what he goes for. Play Rough here, that's first KO. Max speed on MIMIKYU is 320. Shadow Sneak not going to do a lot. Takes the Life Orb chip. Earth Power is going to take away the decoy. Swaps to Indeedee F here. Swords Dances again. Drain Punches into the Indeedee. That's, yeah, a kill, and it heals all the way to full. Life Orb taking damage, but with the Drain Punch it doesn't matter much. Play Rough, yeah, takes another KO. Times 3 attack on MIMIKYU. Shadow Sneaks the Roaring Moon. Doesn't kill, but it goes for Body Slam back, which is immune. So now he goes to Gligar. Shadow Sneak is 83. And now he goes for Shadow Sneak twice. The critical hit doesn't matter at this point. MIMIKYU is down to 50% HP now, but yeah, the Shadow Sneak again. That's going to take out Roaring Moon. Volcanion's the last one standing. Shadow Sneak isn't a KO. It eats his Aguav Berry. So we're gonna get a little bit of health back. Earth Power is going to finish off the MIMIKYU. Iron Valiant speed boosting comes out, and Thunderbolt is enough to secure the KO. So 17 turns, pretty short. But yeah, pretty powerful game from Meat. Yeah, MIMIKYU putting in huge work with the with the Swords Dance. Moving on, we have this is me versus Veer. So this game I've brought Magic Bounce Espeon and Tyranitar, of course, the king of OU, and Veer has brought just the same team as always. Double ground type means it's going to be pretty tough for Tyranitar to get in the game, but yeah, so I lead Dragapult into his Greninja. I'm okay with risking getting a Scarf, taking a Scarf Ice Beam here, because my Gastrodon kind of just walls his whole team. So I go to Espeon on the Toxic Spikes. And yeah, he takes the Toxic Spike, goes to Drifblim. I Terra Electric here and I Calm Mind, and at this point I should just go for Terra Blast, but I get greedy and go for 2, and he hazes him away. So I Calm Mind again, kind of expecting him to go for something else, but he substitutes, which means I can't actually hit him this turn. So I Terra Blast, and he hazes, and yeah, he is healing a little bit from leftovers. Intimidate here on the Espeon. Terra Blast isn't going to hit Landorus Therian, so I go to Corviknight on the Earthquake. Yeah, and he's forced to switch because I'm assuming it's a choice item. He gets poisoned on Ursaluna, which is better than Burn because he'll be taking more damage per turn, but it also means that his Guts is activated. So I go to Tyranitar. Sandstream is set up. He's taking damage over time. I Ice Punch for a little bit of chip, but Play Rough here, it pretty much KOs Tyranitar. I'm actually surprised at how much this did, because Tyranitar has huge defense, but Knockoff is, yeah, going to take the KO. He goes to Ditto, transforms into my Tyranitar, but Tyranitar is naturally pretty slow, and I know my moves, so I just switch into Corviknight, and Ice Punch isn't going to do a lot. He's taking damage from poison. Ice Punch does 25. I U-turn. Does some chip. I go back to my Tyranitar, and I'm hoping to win the speed tie, but he does, he probably choice Scarf actually, so don't know about that play. I U-turn here, does pick up the KO. I go to Gastrodon because none of his Pokemon can beat Gastrodon at this point. He Strength Saps, but Gastrodon's attack is pretty low anyways, and I Ice Beam to take 50. He heals with leftovers though, so I can't secure the 2-hit KO, but he goes into Greninja on the Spike. Critical hit on the Ice Beam is pretty lucky for me, but he's going to feint to poison the next turn anyways, so he spikes here. He comes ground type, but I surf Landorus Therian, second Intimidate, or I guess first Intimidate because the other one was Strength Sap, but it doesn't matter. Grass Knot does almost 50, but I Ice Beam him back and that's a 1-hit KO. He goes to Sneasler, takes away the Poison Spikes. Fake Out does a lot of damage and I flinch, so I have to switch here. Yeah, I switch to Dragapult. And I do just Shadow Ball. He yeah, Driftbloom goes down. Goes to Sneasler here. I switch to Corviknight, but he close combats and it crits, so Corviknight feints. Yeah, but it drops defenses, so I just go Dragapult and I drop a Draco for the win. So, bit of a longer game, but still pretty well played. I didn't bring out Appleton at all, but I think, yeah, pretty decent game from both of us here. Moving on, we have Keliyu versus Mike. Mike has his standard hyper offense with Toxapex Wall. Kelly has also a pretty hyper offensive team, maybe dual screens from Grimmsnarl. So yeah, she leaves with Grimmsnarl against the Ursaluna. Sets up Light Screen on the Blood Moon, gonna take 30? Yeah, around 30. Parting Shot to lower Blood Moon's special attack, and she goes to Glimmora here on the Calm Mind, so not gonna be able to. Oh, Toxic, okay, so yeah, that's gonna do damage over time, of course, but it's extremely, especially important for Ursaluna Blood Moon because its health is so high that you really want to be able to do percentage damage to it, so Toxic is gonna help with that. Earth Power, she does set up Stealth Rock. Blood Moon, interesting play here. Blood Moon means you can't use it on the next turn, so she can like reliably switch to like Kilowattrel on this turn because she can't be hit by Blood Moon. But she goes Great Tusk. Proto Speed goes to Toxapex. Close Combat, not going to do a lot, but Headlong Rush could do a lot after. So she's Mike switches to Enamorous. Yeah, Headlong Rush doesn't hit. Swaps to Kilowattrel, I'm assuming on the Moonblast, yep. Light Screen is still up, so it takes reduced damage from that. Goes back to Ursaluna, there's the percentage-based damage. Terra's Electric, Volt Switch not going to connect. Light Screen is now down. And yeah, switches to Grimmsnarl, hoping, I'm guessing, to put up the Light Screen again. Earth Power, not going to do a whole lot. Yeah, and now sets up the second Light Screen. Blood Moon probably picks up the KO, yes, okay. So this is actually really good for Kelly because that means she doesn't lose a turn of Light Screen on the switch. So this is actually pretty good. She has one more turn of Light Screen. Air Balloon, Goldengo. Mike switches to Toxapex, but the Thunder Wave. Psychic does 54%. The paralysis is huge here. And Hex is going to pick up this KO. Pretty interesting. Let's see. Yeah, I suppose your Blood Moon Ursaluna doesn't really want to take Psychic, so yeah, it just opts to lose Toxapex here. Dark Pulse not going to KO, does break the balloon, so it's now vulnerable to Ursaluna Blood Moon. Make It Rain though is gonna take the KO again. So minus special attack, goes to Ceruledge. Oh, she does get the Hex off, which is really nice damage, and it doesn't activate Weak Armor, which would be activated by Meowscarada or Great Tusk, but yeah, so it heals a little bit with the Bitter Blade. Meowscarada, Sucker Punch here. That should be a KO, yep. Okay, so Protean Dark. Baxcalibur comes in. Knockoff is huge. No more loaded dice means you can't get the guaranteed hits on Icicle Spear. We'll see. He gets 3, not enough to KO Meowscarada. She goes for a second knockoff, but it's not a KO. But Glaive Rush means he'll be taking double damage the next turn, so Air Slash, yeah, picks up the KO. At this point, Kilowattrel is faster than, yeah, Enamorous. That's a KO. Critical hit. I don't think it mattered though. Enamorous is really frail. And Air Slash again does get the chip. No crit, or no flinch. Sorry. he has Moonlight, which means he's starting to heal, but the toxic damage is just going to build up. Yeah, the Air Slash, no flinch again. Leftovers, yeah, he's taking poison damage, Air Slash, and he goes for Blood Moon to take one last KO, but Great Tusk is going to come out and seal the kill. Boom. Okay, so yeah, that's week 5. Pretty close game, surprisingly, but it was still a fast game regardless. Of course, with both teams running like hyper offense, it's very fast-paced game. Kelly does pull out the win on against the undefeated Michael, but yeah, pretty close game. I think Kelly had a pretty good lead throughout the whole game. Maybe a couple of like missed opportunities in like the close combat into Toxapex and then headlong into Enamorous, but I think she still had most of the advantage, especially with the light screen support from Snarl. That was pretty solid. Yeah, but that's all the games for week 5. We'll see you in the playoffs in next week.